Hi, Tiffany. Thank you for joining us today. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. I am an elementary PE teacher. I've been teaching for, this is my 14th year. Not only have I been an elementary PE teacher, but I've also been a special education teacher. But PE, physical activity, is my heart, it's my joy. I live it, love it, and just enjoy it every day.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for what you do for the community. Can you tell me a little bit about how much exercise do children need?
Well, it kind of depends. I would say, or at least the CDC suggests 60 minutes, 60 or more minutes. And this is from 3 up until 17 years. So I would definitely stick with 60 minutes, moderate to vigorous physical activity. But I would say even for our youngers, like a 3 to 8, the more activity they can get outside, whether it's structured or unstructured, is great.
At what age can kids participate in structured exercise?
Well, it depends, right? Some kids are more athletically inclined than others. But I would say between 6 to 9 years is where kids really have a strong foundation for their motor skills. So not just your basic motor skills where you're running and jumping, but they're able to actually add on to that. So they're able to follow directions more. They're able to learn a little bit more technical skills from an adult who's trying to give them instruction.
And what are some signs that the exercise that the parents chose for the children are not working? Like, do all kids like the same activities, or do some kids excel more at group activities or individual exercise?
So I think the best sign is whatever your child says. So communication, right? So asking your child, hey, did you like this? Or did you like playing soccer? Or did you like tag or like swimming? That's the honest answer. Your child, they're going to give you an honest answer. And I think that's probably the best response you can get in terms of signs, whether your child enjoys an activity or a sport or not.
So is exercise for adults the same as exercise for kids, or is there a difference?
Well, there is a difference. When we think about younger kids, they have lots of energy, but it's short, right? So they have high energy, short bursts, and they need more time. I wouldn't say more time to recover, because they actually need faster time. They have a faster recovery time, but they need more time to rest. When you think about adults, we have muscles, right? So we can go for longer periods of time at high intensity, depending on our activity levels. But kids, they need more rest time. So in any type of activity, you want to just be mindful of how the child is moving, if they need that break time. But kids, they're going to go from 0 to 100. Their intensity levels is just, they're full of energy.
And is there a difference in children participating in indoor exercise versus outdoor exercise?
I wouldn't say there's a difference, but I would say there are differences. So what I mean by that is outdoor exercises. I remember reading a Harvard review article where the benefits of outdoor exercises, just outdoor play, was sunshine, right? That vitamin D, the executive functioning skills that kids can build. So just being outside, they learn how to plan, they learn how to organize, they really learn how to kind of manipulate things by themselves, alone, right? They're able to take more risk, build that self-confidence, and really just enjoy outdoor being in nature. Indoors, also, they have a lot more space to play. Indoors, they may not have as much space to play. Things may be more controlled, which means less risk taking. So there's pros and cons to both. But if you're living somewhere in like the Midwest where it's snowing all the time, I'll take indoor play over no play.
So I hear you using the word play for exercise. So is play exercise?
Good question. Play can be considered exercise. When we think about play, we're thinking of unstructured time, right? So unstructured activity, which, by the way, kids love, right? They want to go out, they want to explore, they want to take risks, they don't want to think, right? When we think about exercise, it's much more structured. So if you're with your age group to 3 to 6, 3 to 7, playing is great. But then when you build in, like, say, I'm going to teach the 6 to 9-year-olds certain skills. Maybe it's trapping a ball in soccer. Maybe it's dribbling a ball. That's where the exercise may come in. Or maybe I'm teaching a child how to properly jump or hop. So those type of skills that are involved in those movements, especially for a longer duration of time with more direction, becomes exercise.
So any other tips that you can use that you could give the audience that makes exercise fun for kids?
Exercise fun for kids. A lot of it is choice, but I also think utilizing playgrounds, right, in the community, switching up the different playgrounds, also imagination, right? So right when COVID started, I tried to use every household item I had to entertain my child, right? And we were outside. So it's not even necessarily you having like certain equipment. You can make things fun just by what you have at home. So it's getting creative, but we have the internet, so we can use the internet if need be, but it's really just getting outside. I feel like when your child sees that you have a passion for being outside and loving outdoors, they instantly grow that same passion. Stick fights are good too. So.
Exactly. So it sounds like to have an active lifestyle for the child, does it require the parent having an active lifestyle as well? Is that important?
It's extremely important. I don't think it requires, but it's definitely an added bonus. I can tell you now, I've seen parents drop off their kids at playgrounds and then maybe leave, right? And that's better than nothing, right? And so it's always an added bonus if you guys can have that built-in family time where you guys are going for a hike. You guys are walking around the neighborhood, you're walking the dog, you're going to the ice cream, you're walking, you're just movement is always an added bonus, but it's not necessarily required. But for your child, because our kids, they model what they see, right? Especially from us. So if your child sees that you enjoy being outdoors, they're going to actually have that same passion.
What can the community do to help support an active lifestyle for our families?
So as I mentioned, the use of playgrounds are great, right? So the more playgrounds we have within a community, the better. Not only that, I know that a lot of communities, they have sports teams, right? So remember, as I mentioned, that 6 to 9 year time frame where it's kind of really a good age to get kids in sports. They can participate in that. But I would just say you don't need much, even if you don't have a playground. Getting outdoors. There's lots of trails. There's lots of places you can walk. Oftentimes we think that we need to walk to the store to grab a couple of items. You can walk to the store. Making sure that maybe they have a bike instead of a video game, and that they can ride their bike or a scooter. Being outdoors is a social aspect as well. So making sure, seeing if they have a group of friends that they can actually hang out with and play outdoors. Just all of these things where you don't necessarily have to do too much can make it beneficial within any community.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
No problem.
I also want to follow up. You mentioned the word risk. So being outside, there can be more, I believe you said more risk versus playing inside. So when you're using the term risk, is that in like a scary way, or can you tell me a little bit more about what that word means to you?
Yes. So as a child, it's important that we create or I would say as adults, it's important that we create opportunities for kids to take risk. And what I mean by that is safe risk. So trying new things and not knowing the outcome. Maybe trying to climb a tree, and once they get somewhat to the top or even closer to the top, they're like, how do I get down? Right? We want them to take those risks. That's how they learn. That's how they grow. That not only that helps their brain development, and it really builds that self-confidence. And so as a PE teacher, even the smallest risk, trying to play soccer or practicing dribbling the ball. I can't tell you how many kids I have, I can't do this or I can't do this. And I said, try. This is the perfect time for you to try and learn. Safe, low-level risk. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But at least you could say you tried. So outdoors create those opportunities for more risk because it's not a controlled environment.
Thank you for clarifying that. Anything else you want to share today?
No. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yes.